I've had a sort out of some of my yew staves. One was hopeless. Big one here I've trimmed down a little bit. Some of them are just billets really. A couple of bits that would make nice primitives. But it's all a bit rough on the elbows at the moment. Oh, and there's the trike. I finally got it all finished. Painted the bits that I welded on in silver and added a nice little box so that soft toys can go for a ride. Anyhow, I've got this stave that I'm thinking of working on. It's got a bit of a sideways bend on it. I'm not quite sure what to aim for. It's not bad, it's got a couple of knots. Focused at last. A couple of knots. You can see the pith line down the middle. Well, it's probably about 6 foot long. But do I make it into a, you know, sort of 50 pound, 60 pound long bow? Or do I save it, turn it into a shortish 40 pounder? There's a young lad who goes to the ILAA shoots, and I cobbled together an old bow, cut it down, reduced it a bit to do for him, but it'll probably grow out of that soon. We'll see. My enthusiasm's a bit on the low side these days. Yeah, exactly, that's what I thought. I'll let you out, babe. I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this stave. Not quite sure what's inside it in terms of knots. So what I've been doing is just sort of marking out by eye and taking off the corners from alternate sides and then taking off the high point, just doing it on the bandsaw. So, you know, running it like that to take a corner off. Then the opposite side, and then sawing off the bit in the middle. Now you could just as easily do that with a draw knife or an axe or a spoke shave, but basically my left elbow is a bit screwed these days and I struggle with a draw knife, although it's nice to use an edge tool on you because it feels so beautiful. And you can see the risks you take doing it on a bandsaw, because I was cutting this edge and look, I left plenty of sapwood. Of course when you turn it over you think, whoops, no I haven't, but that's so near the tip it won't matter, especially once it's narrowed and shaped and rounded. Or I can lose a bit off the tip because I'm not quite sure where this is going. So basically what I'm doing is fiddle-arsing about really, just removing excess wood where I can. So, say here, I think, well, we'll leave that heartwood and I'll carve away all this sapwood and I'll just rough it away on the bandsaw rather than doing it any other way. But like I said, you've got to be very careful cutting off one face. You've got to turn it like that, so you're just taking off the corner, because it might look entirely different the other side. Places like that you've got to be careful, leave extra, because what is that knot? Where does it come from? Where does it go? Where does it come from, Cotton Eye Joe? But yeah, it's quite a promising stave, but obviously you've got to worry about stuff like that. Is that anything to do with that? Send your answers on a postcard, boys and girls. And that, I mean, that doesn't seem to be anything to do with that. That probably comes out there, does it? Who knows? That's why I'm just fiddling. I'm not going to try and make a bow quickly. Really, I'm just trying to distract myself because I'm, yeah, at a bit of a loose end having done the trike. Believe it or not, I can actually sit on that and pedal it and make it go myself. and the twins are having a lot of fun with it. So I was even thinking of daft things I could do with the lathe to improve it, but they'd quite possibly make it worse, so I'll leave it well alone. Maybe I'll start reading another book, who knows. Anyway, there you go, boys and girls, that's what I've been up to.